Check out my new Swiss Army knife. Ah, who am I kidding? This thing's pathetic. Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. Next up in our look at the Rise of Beasts toys, we're taking a look at Cheetor. And of course, this is the core class version of Cheetor. And of course, for any of you who missed last week's video, we do want to give a shout out to Melissa for sending me these Rise of Beasts toys that we're featuring this month. And this is basically the core class Cheetor. So, what you see is what you get. And I know a fair amount of the Beast Wars fans are definitely going to be disappointed in these core class figures. Because while they're small, inexpensive, easy for you to pick up, it's just the fact that many of these guys that were done this way only become weapons. So you only get the beast mode, and then they become a weapon. It's definitely going to disappoint the Beast War fans, because I'm sure they would prefer the bigger toys that allow it to become the robot. And of course, Cheetor is a major character in the Beast Wars era. And a little ways back, we did review a modern version of Cheetor that was put out in the War for Cybertron Kingdom line. The link for that will appear somewhere in that corner at some point during this video. So if you're interested in that and the history behind Cheetor, that's where you will find it. Alright, for this version of Cheetor, his articulation is a bit limited, though not surprisingly, it's a little bit better than what it was with Chainclaw, who we reviewed last week with Optimus. I mean, the legs still rotate at the shoulder and the hip, like that, but they're on ball joints instead of being a post and a hole, so the back legs can be brought together like that or spread open like that. The front legs can really be spread apart or brought together like that. Kind of almost like the spread angle myself a little bit more. It kind of looks like a cat that suddenly finds itself caught doing something in a half panic. And then, of course, Cheetor's paws, the front paws are on ball joints as well, so they can be rocked up and down, and they will rotate all the way around as well. So, all in all, that's what you get for the articulation. Now, transforming Cheetor is an extremely simple step to do. First thing we got to do on that is we come here behind his head and we will raise up this post. Then we'll grab him by the head and we're going to fold his head down to his belly. There's a recess in there for his head, so it will go in all the way. He'll take his front legs and we're going to fold them up and over so that his paws touch the back legs, and then fold the back legs up so they curve around the front legs. And then there you have it. He becomes some sort of blade weapon. Now, aesthetically speaking, it looks rather good, because, I mean, you got a nice prominent blade, and there's a couple of smaller blades implied here on the sides. I mean, while they're snug together real close, so kind of defeats the purpose of them a little bit, but you know, if you look at it from a distance, it does look rather imposing. The problem is that I have with this is that they put the post right here just near the blade. So it restricts it to being more of a stabbing blade. I mean, yeah, you can swing it around to slash at things, but that's almost pointless with how the other blades are. It's pretty much just a stabbing blade. I'm sure a fair amount of fans would have preferred there being a post here so that they could hold it, so that a transformer could hold it like a sword, but then you have the thought of the fact that there's a post coming out of Cheetor's butt. Yes, yes, for those of you immature, insert your own joke there. But at any rate, we have Optimus Prime from last week's video. Let's stretch an arm out a bit and put Cheetor in there. That post isn't very good at staying out very well. There we go. Got it in. And there it is, mounted onto Prime. Such as it is. So now we get to my thoughts. Well, this has been an idea that's been around with the Transformers for a good long time, because it does originate back to the Target Masters of the Generation 1 era, as well as the Action Masters, also of the Generation 1 era. However, this I find to be poorly executed. So I know they've did Cheetor this way, since we just reviewed him. They also did Rhinox, and I don't have Rhinox, but I have seen Rhinox, and I know those are a couple of major characters in the Beast War line. So I know a fair amount of the fans are going to be offended by the fact that their favorite guys have now been reduced to being weapons for the Generation 1 era figures to use. Since, let's face it, many of the major movie robots are intended to be based on the Generation 1 characters. So I know a lot of them are gonna despise that. As for Cheetor himself, the idea is okay, but unfortunately it just looks bad. I mean, the weapon's trying to go for being a sword, but the way you hold it, it's not a sword, it's a blade. So it uses an entirely different fighting style. And like I said, when I look up close to it, it gives the impression it's got 3 blades, but since they're not spread apart, it kind of renders the whole thing to be stupid looking. I mean, I'm not really an expert on bladed weapons, never claimed to be, but somehow I just don't see one like this being all that effective. At any rate, that's my look at the Rise of Beasts version of Cheetor, Core Class. I hope you all enjoyed it. And please do remember that if you like the content that we feature here on this channel, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.